Om Namah Shivaya. We're speaking in the previous satsanga, we're speaking about the condition of a limited being. We're speaking about samskaras, impressions, accumulated impressions, and all this. There are two kinds of samskaras, of impressions. One is the impression created by a mind working, a working mind. When your mind is working, you create a certain kind of impression that can be afflicted or non-afflicted. So can be related to kleshas, or can be non-related to kleshas. So can give sadness, suffering, or happiness. But there are other kind of impressions called samskaras of arrested mind, that is samskaras created when the mind stopped. These samskaras are not afflicted, non-afflicted, no, they are different kind. They don't give suffering or pleasure. They destroy the samskara with working mind. They phagocytate. Phagocytate is in English. All these samskaras. A yogi creates samskaras of mind, arrested mind. So it's different, a yogi than a common person. A common person is all the time with the mind working. Only creates samskara with working mind. A dangerous state to live like this. So in the book I wrote, as a spiritual aspirant advances in his trances, his samadhis, what's the difference between concentration, meditation, and samadhi? According to Patanjali, is yoga, concentration is, I know that you know by heart, but you are very humble, so you try not to repeat with me. Desha bandhas chitasya dhararna. So dhararna, concentration, is desha bandhas chitasya. Is bandha, focus, to focus in desha, on one point. Chitasya, of the mind. So it's mental focus on one point for one instant. This is concentration according to Patanjali, not to Trika. But this is the traditional way to define, yes, this concentration. Dhyana, meditation, is pratyayika nata dhyanam. So tatra pratyayika nata dhyanam. So tatra, after attaining concentration, tatra means in that. So in concentration, after attaining concentration, what is meditation, dhyana? Dhyana is pratyayika nata. It's a Ekatanata or pratyayas. Pratyayas are thoughts. Ekatanata is a continuous flow of thoughts of the similar kind. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. So concentration is for a short time. Meditation is the same concentration, but for a long time. It's an ekatanata. It's a continuous flow of similar thoughts, pratyayas. You understand? This is meditation according to Patanjali and to Patanjali. And to Trika say yes, coincide in this part. And Samadhi is Tadevarta Nirvasa, Tadevata Matra Nirvasa, Swarupa Shunyamiva Samadhihi. Tadevarta Matra Nirvasa is that state, Samadhi, where Artha Matra Nirvasa, where only the object shines. Matra only. Nirvasa shines. Only the artha, the object, shines. In Trikasha vision, we don't meditate on objects. We meditate on the subject. That's why it's different. It's different, the definition of samadhi according to Trikasha vision. Swarupa Shunyamiva, and the subject is like absent. Only the object. So you meditate on an object so much that only the object, nirvasa, shines in front of you. And the swarupa, yourself, the subject, shunyamiva, like disappear, like absent. Shunya, void. Devoid of swarupa, without subject. Samadhi, this is samadhi. But in Trikashaivism, the way they study dharana, dhyana, samadhi is different. In Trikashaivism is dhyana, dharana, samadhi. You know, yes? And dhyana, we don't call dhyana meditation. We call dhyana exam or Trikashaivism. Trikashaivism exam. What's the name of dhyana or meditation in Trikashaivism? Contemplation. Contemplar in Spanish. Contemplación. Contemplação. Something like this in Portuguese. Okay. Contemplation. Dharana is to be fixed to some state. So dharana is like dhyana in Patanjali. It's dharana in Trikashaivism. It's not only to contemplate, to be fixed on something. From the verb dri, to hold. You hold your attention on something. And samadhi is on the subject, not on the object. So there is no object predominating, no, and the subject is absent. No, the subject predominates and not the object. Okay. As a spiritual aspirant advances in his trance, the quantity of impressions, samskaras, of a rested mind increases. The more you stop your mind, the more samskaras of a rested mind you develop. Later comes a moment when their number is enough, and these impressions begin to devour the ones left by actions performed with the mind working. I remember when I attained this state, I remember the teachings of Jesus Christ at that time, when he said, I defeated the world. Remember that he said, I defeated the world. Vencí al mundo. Remember these words by Jesus Christ? Vencí al mundo. He said, Jesus Christ said in Spanish, vencí al mundo. In Hungarian, oh, well, Legios temabilagot. Something like this. In Portuguese, eu vencí al mundo. In Russian, я победил мир. This Jesus Christ said. What is the meaning of this? Because when you are attaining liberation, I remember this state and I was so surprised. You are stronger than samsara. Now samsara is stronger than you. Yes, you think, oh my God, that's a limited individual. What will I do in this big world? Yes, I'm so limited, so weak. This is samsara. But when you start to attain liberation, you become stronger than samsara. I remember this story. It's impressive. And you realize that you can be more powerful than samsara. Before, the sensation was samsara is overwhelming me, yes? Oh my God, all this, for example, Mate with the children, yes? He has 3 children or 2 children. How many children he has? 2 or 3? 2. 2 children, all the problem I have, children. Samsara is stronger than him. What I do with the children. But when you're about to attain liberation, it's nothing for you. It's ridiculous. Stronger. Because Shiva is stronger than all. I remember the sensation. It's not imagination. Yes, oh, I'm strong. No, it's not ego. It's real. I can survive. Yes, oh my God, you discover your own freedom. You discover your own freedom. Nirupayasi, tuadiya swachandian. You discover nirupayasi. Nirupaya is discover, imperative mood. Discover your own freedom. But nirupayasi is you discover tuadiya swachana, your own freedom. So you discover your own freedom in Sanskrit. Yes, it's the slogan of my yoga, Paravairava Yoga. Discover your own freedom. So you discover your own freedom. And you realize that you are bigger than samsara. You are greater than samsara. That's why at that time I understood the teachings by Jesus Christ. Yo vencí al mundo. I vanquished the world. I defeated the world. This is the meaning. So you are more powerful than the world. So external circumstances that before affected you a lot, now they are nothing. Trifles. It's like with Mate, the children, what to do. My God, the whole day thinking, my responsibility. But next, nobody cares. It's so little, so limited, because you increase your power. Imagine that you are Shiva, all the galaxies you support, million, billion, trillion, how many galaxies they discover? Million, billion. He supports all this, every being in every planet. Can you imagine your power? You discover this at the time of liberation. Start to discover, yes, oh my God. You are completely indifferent to normal things that before affected you a lot. This is yo vencí al mundo. I defeated the world. Because Shiva and these teachings are more powerful than your samsara. Apparently now you don't have time for Shiva. Yes, no, I don't have time. Yes, for example, Mate was evolving. Now he has time for satsanga. He's an evolution. Before, I don't have time, I don't have time. It's typically limited individuals, they never have time for Shiva. Next, they start to have time. They evolve, they advance. That's why when he told me I organize everything to be in satsanga, yes, it's an evolution. It's an evolution of his consciousness. He expanded. He advanced in yoga. But at the beginning, all the beginners, they don't have time. I don't have time, I'm very busy. It's because the samsara is more powerful than them. But as you discover your own freedom, you realize that samsara is nothing it's nothing in comparison to you. It's about spirit. You have to discover this. So before, samsara was so strong, yes, and now it's nothing. What? Yo vencí al mundo. This is one of the reasons why some bad habits might spontaneously disappear in that aspirant. So all of a sudden you have bad habit, all of a sudden this bad habit disappeared. You discover that this bad habit disappeared. You say, how is that possible? It's because samskaras are eating, good samskaras are eating bad samskaras. All the changes are gentle, not by force. Gentle changes. You know what the gentle is? Gentil, soft. Not by force, like change. No, it's not like you change. Like Mate, yes, when he told the other day, oh, I organize everything to be in satsanga. So this is a change in his consciousness, evolution. It's natural changes. Nobody forces. It's not the guru telling you change. No, it's spontaneous. This is because the Shuddha Vidya, the pure knowledge working in you, this Shiva will working in you, the irresistible will of Shiva is changing you from inside. He starts wondering how that bad habit could disappear just like that in him. As that spiritual aspirant keeps advancing in his trances, samadhis, his mind continues to be arrested for a certain period of time every day. Over the years, the quantity of impressions of arrested mind is so huge that they eat up the ones formed by action done with the mind working. At this precise moment, his ego, which is now a mass of impressions of arrested mind, is made passive. Your ego is passive. When your ego is passive, your essence, your real self emerges. Yes? What is ego? Ego is this person in you who is affected by external circumstances. This is ego. It's like a puppet moved by the puppeteer. The puppeteer is outside of it. It's not internal, it's outside. I had to pay this. Oh my God, I have bills to pay. I don't have money. All this. Puppeteer is outside. It's controlling the puppet with the threads. Essence, your essence, Shiva, is inside. It's internal. So when you decide something internally, without any relationship with outside, this is coming from him. External, external, yes. All of a sudden, some bill under your door. What is this? Oh my God, electricity is very expensive. So this is external. So your ego is affected and you feel bad, stressed. I don't have the money. So at any moment, Maya can send you something and you believe and you suffer. This is ego. Ego is false. It's not your real identity. Ego is dead. It's not your real identity. It's inorganic. It's a tattoo inorganic. That's why he cannot do, because it's dead. What is dead cannot do. What is alive can do. Your essence, your Shivahood can do, can change your life, because it's alive. The rest is dead. It's like saying, hey, you mouse, change my life. No, it's dead, the mouse there. The mouse is a computer. It's dead. It's only looking alive because of electricity, but it's dead. It's inner matter, an object. The ego is the same. It's inner matter built by life. So you were brought up by some family. They created this ego in you with education in from your school. This ego called, I don't know, Lucas. So Lucas, the Brazilian family plus the Brazilian education created Lucas. But Lucas is inorganic. It's not the real self. The real self is alive. What is Lucas? Lucas is a network of associations. Yes, your Lucas, your Robert, your Dora, your Mate. It's a network of associations. So every stimulus coming from outside triggers some reaction in this network of associations. For example, if I tell you, oh, Dora, you are so fat, so the association will say, oh no, it's bad. So you suffer. But it's only a network of electric impulses moving there. It's dead, all this. It's only Shakti in all this network making the ego looking alive. But it's dead, making the ego look alive. And so you have this network all the time working in you, association. For example, I don't know. Do you like Africa? Do you like Africa, Robert? Yes. You, Mate, you like Africa? No. Yes, another association. You, Luca, you like Africa? But you are very African in Brazil. No, you like Africa. You like Africa, Tabas? The association say no, yes, no. It's the way. You, Guruma, you like Africa. It's your favorite place. I don't know, we want to live in Argentina or in Mozambique. We are planning, or in Burkina Faso. It's a very good place to live. And Burkina Faso, it's beyond Sierra Leona, all these places, that's beyond imagination. You, Raman, you like Africa, safaris? Yes? No. Dora, you like Africa? No. You, Ivan? You don't know. Association. Association. Now, what's your opinion of your essence? Nobody knows. Internally. To receive an opinion from something internal, you have to consider this question for a few days. Do I like Africa or not? Internal, beyond association, beyond the reaction. I dislike, I like. Internally, what happened? I like. So in the general, you will arrive at two conclusions. I like and I dislike. It depends on the place. I can like, I suppose, I don't know, Morocco, maybe I can like, but I dislike Burkina Faso. I can like South Africa, but I dislike Ethiopia. You understand? It depends on the country you are in. That's why the same when you ask, do you like British? No. Yes. No, no. It depends who. It depends on who. What person are you speaking about? What British? You understand? You cannot say in general because it depends on the person. There are person you dislike. There are a person you like. It's all like this. But associations all the time. We have associations all the time. You know this? Okay. This is ego. It's ego. It's not you. It appears to be you because it's so close to you that you think that it's you, but it's not you. It's like saying, "Oh, that person now walking outside in the parking lot there near my house is me." No, it's not me. I'm here. It's the same. So when ego is made passive, and subsequently the spiritual enlightenment takes place. If his physical body is retained during liberation, he will need an ego in order to function as a human being in this world. But this ego will be burned. Burned ego. It's not common ego, in the sense that it has nothing to do with the law of karma. It's just like a facade. This is why liberated one is able to perform any kind of action and never get the respective good or bad fruit. His karma is already started, prarabdha karma. He cannot get new fruits from his actions. Oh, Liena, hello. Now I see you. One in the satsang. That's why it's so scary. The gurus are so scary because they can do any action and they don't get any fruit from his present actions. They are getting the fruit of his past actions, active in this lifetime. But his present action give no fruit, bear no fruit. You understand? So they can do any action on you. It's very scary. You are conscious of this? A liberated person is only understood by another liberated person, because that which is higher cannot be understood by what is lower. This is a law too. Nobody can see higher than his own level of consciousness. A liberated guru, for example, is able to perform any type of action in order for his disciple to advance. As that spiritual teacher is free, he is not subject to the law of karma. This is only done by liberated ones, not by bound ones. If a person in bondage uses this teaching for his own benefit and deludes other people, telling that because he's liberated, he can do any action. Yes. If someone deludes like this other people, he's just accumulating more and more samskaras that will bear the corresponding horrible fruits. That's why don't worry about false gurus. Yes, they will reap their fruits in due course. As there is no shortage of fools in this world, they can use my teaching to keep accumulating bad karma. When one teaches people, this kind of problem is inevitable. For instance, when my own guru explained the experience of enlightenment, he had to keep changing the version frequently because there were some fools saying that they were liberated and trying to delude people by describing an experience of enlightenment which was not theirs. So they copy from Muktananda the version about enlightenment, and they say, I'm enlightened, to cheat people. It's very, very common. So my guru changed the version, and the fool had to change it too, accordingly. This word really is a long change of foolishness, no doubt about it. You cannot imagine the number of fools in this world. It's beyond imagination, beyond your imagination. And on the contrary, I will not change my version. Consequently, I'm not doing like Mutaranda. I don't change my version. Consequently, the fools can take it and delude other people if they wish so. But all that is done with the mind working. All that is done with the mind working will bear its respective good or bad fruit sooner or later. Maybe I'm not changing it in order for those fools to be caught by the law of karma. Who knows? Anyway, my advice is always not to joke with sacred teachings, because this always brings awful karma. Don't joke what is sacred. While one might think that nobody is watching, his Shakti is always patrolling. If someone is foolish enough as to lie about sacred things, he will experience the fruits of such actions in an unpleasant manner. For example, if I see someone worshipping the self in a strange way, I will just leave him alone. One never knows what is happening there. If that person happens to be a real saint, my disturbing him could even bring me bad consequences. If I tell this to some people, they are very likely to laugh at my extreme precaution. This is because they have no idea about the law of karma and the ways of his power. So when you see people worshiping a deity or something, don't disturb them, yes, because you don't know. Maybe it's real deity. Maybe it's a real divinity they are worshiping, and you disturb them and you receive bad fruits. You do nothing. You don't go with your arrogance there. Yes, no, you do nothing. You move. As a result, a liberated person, if he retains his physical body, is one with a burned ego, which is not any longer under the law of karma. He's not completely egoless, because without some kind of ego, he could not function as a human being in this world. I cannot come here and say, no, I'm nobody. Yes, you are the guru. Yes, I'm the guru, but my identity is nobody because I have no ego. So it's stupid. Yes. Who are you? I'm nobody. I have no ego. I have no personality. You cannot teach. So even the liberated being needs some ego to function in this world. And if that person abandons his body at the time of his liberation, other things can occur. Anyway, my point is that no human being can become an egoless creature. For example, most animals after his death. Why? Because that would amount to losing his ego in the process. If his ego is lost, the causal body will have now no way to make his previous accumulated karma fructify in the form of fresh prarabdha karma in his next life. And in the process, all the impressions in the ego itself would be lost. The law of karma will not allow him to lose his ego then, or he will not experience the fruit of his action in his future life. All in all, to say that a human being or any other creature endowed with an ego, a demon, or a god with lowercase, yes, a divinity, is able to become an animal, for example, without ego in a future birth is a total nonsense. Because you have to lose your ego. You lose your ego, you lose all your karma accumulated, good and bad. No, that's not happening. So once you are human, you advance only. You don't receive. You don't get back. In turn, an animal could somehow ascend to the human stage if it manages to get a human ego. At present, I do not know how an animal could do that, but it's a possibility. Now I understand it better because my she-cat, she has an ego. She got a human ego. Yes, Guruma? My she-cat, my Koshka got a human ego because she's so pestering. And so pestering all the time. And of course, the self, Shiva, can break all laws at any moment and promote an animal to the stage of human being in a trice if he wishes so, because his will is irresistible. irresistible. Or else he can turn a human being into a mosquito too. I have no doubt about his absolute freedom. Still, in most cases, he won't break the laws generated by his own power. It's only exceptional miracles. What is a miracle? Definition of a miracle, Chuda, in Russian. Chuda is, according to Gurdjieff, miracle is the interference of laws from higher worlds in this world. So laws, leyes in Spanish, leyes, laws from higher worlds acting in this world, yes, is a miracle. For example, in this world, you cannot defeat gravity force, yes, except with some rocket or something, but by your own jumping, you cannot defeat gravity force. You cannot jump and move to the orbit around the Earth. No, it's impossible. But if some law coming from the world of Indra appears in this world, for example, the world of Indra is heaven, so you can float in the air and you can leave the Earth. So it's the appearance of a law from a higher world in this world permits you to defeat the law of the gravity law, for example. But this is happening very rarely, very rare. This is a miracle. Or for example, someone resurrects, yes, from death. Because in other words, there is no death in spiritual worlds. So a law coming from this world and affecting this world, entering into this world, can resurrect a person. Jesus Christ did it, yes? He was when he's like this with Lazarus. Remember Lazarus? He says, Lazarus, sal fuera. In Spanish, sal, come out. Come out. Lazarus obeyed. It's a law from the spiritual worlds entering into this world through Jesus Christ. So the body was resurrected. So the soul returned to the body. Imagine the power you need to do this. And okay. It's possible, yes, it's possible, but it's so rarely. So we need Jesus Christ again. And there was a yogi in India called Changadeva that the people put in front of him osamentas. You know what is osamentas? Carcass. You know carcass in English? Osamenta. Spanish osamenta. Osamentas. In Russian, skeleti. In Portuguese, esqueletos. In Hungarian, csontvázak. Something. So they put skeletons, osamentas there, carcass, in front of the yogi, and the yogi was in Samadhi. When the yogi opened his eyes, Changadev, the skeleton resurrects like an animal again, or a human. Grab again the muscle, the organs again inside. What is this? Beyond imagination. But in the scripture, they tell stories about this, about your great yogis. This is because laws from superior worlds enter into this world. And what was impossible becomes possible. The power, you cannot imagine the power you have. It's, you move all the worlds. How many worlds? Billion, trillion, quadrillion. How many worlds? Planets. Quadrillion, quintillion, quintillion. Your Shakti is there, moving everything. And you are here like a limited individual. Yes? And your Shakti is expansive, moving all the worlds. What are you doing? What are you doing? Living like this. So Shiva, that's why when you attain enlightenment, you realize that universality. that you are universal, you are everywhere, moving everything. And this power is inexhaustible. So es inagotable. Inagotable poder. Poder inagotable. Poder inagotable. Kimeri ketetleneru. Portuguese. Poder. Poder inesgotable. In Russian. Ni serpaye mai sila. Oh, what is it? Ni serpaye mai. Something like this. The pronunciation is very different. So inagotable, impossible to be exhausted, never finished. This is your power, controlling the universe. And you're here like a limited individual. Stupid. You're not fed up with this, really, to be the whole day with another matter like a limited individual. People are in love with limited individuals, yes? All the time with selfies. I hate Gabriel. I dislike this guy. All the time with selfies. I'm so great. No, it's not great, Gabriel. How to be self, okay? Grandma take my picture for Tamar sometime, okay? But I dislike to take picture of my stupid limited individual. No, you don't want. Yes, but people are in love with this shit. And no, you are Shiva. The whole world is yours. This is all. All the stars, all the galaxies are yours. You are moving all this. What are you doing here? With this stupid body? Trying to be happy here. This is the mystery of Shiva. The mystery. That's why when you get liberation, you realize it's this, is that you are everywhere. The mass of consciousness. So the limited individuals are living in a colossal reality show. It's a big brother, this cosmic big brother then. They may think that they are alone, but his Shakti is always with them as their I consciousness, I am. In this sense, most people are never free from the law of karma. His power sees every action happening in your body. All is filmed. The camera is filming everything, good and bad. You cannot hide anything from him. All is being filmed. You don't remember, but the records are there in your mind. It perceives every action occurring in your mind too, and so on and on. As a result, all the actions a limited being performed in his mind, body, or by word are constantly being recorded by his power. These recordings are the impressions that form his ego. In order to escape from the law of karma, one must follow the right method, as I taught you above, by creating impressions of a rested mind, meditating for example. There is no other way out. Yes, you are free to choose from different techniques, but the process of liberation is always the same. Now a new chapter, Guru and Disciple. You know some disciple, maybe around. And Guru and Disciple, the eternal pair. In the vast majority of cases, a guru-disciple relationship will have to take place for the self to reveal himself. So there is liberation without a guru. Is possible? Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. But in general, it doesn't happen like this. It happens with guru. There are some rare cases of people getting liberation without the help of a guru, but in general, it's very rare. This in general, yes. In general, no. You cannot know without someone else telling you. Now you know, yes, how? Because I told you. That's why in the past I had a woman teaching me. Yes, in the past, one disciple I had. She was teaching me about the Kashevis. So at the end of her perorata, you know what is perorata? I know you are Sanskrit, a Spanish scholar. Perorata. After her perorata, perarazia in Russian. In Portuguese, perorazo. In Hungarian, ossefoglalás. Something like this, my God. After her perorata, yes, I asked her, who taught you that? And she was, you. So why are you teaching me? So he was silent. Because ego's like this. You teach ego and ego next teaches you. Ego's like this. It's a traitor. The traitor in you is ego. Ego's like this. You give ego good things and ego criticizes. It's like this. It's crazy. You say, what is this ego criticizing me? Why? If I was so good with that person, it's why? No, because ego is the enemy all the time. It's bad guy. Not really ego, false. False. Because some part of ego is good. But false ego is all the time bad. It's evil. It's like a demon. So you treat him well and the ego criticizes. And so he's never happy. He's never happy. It's a traitor in you. When you discover the traitor in you, yes, you discover your ego. Your false ego. And it's bad. It's malignant. You have to remove. It's a cancer. You can tell me, yes, but it's Shiva. Yes, it's Shiva, but it's bad. A turd, yes, floating on the river is Shiva too, but you don't want to eat turds, yes? Shit, you don't want to eat this. So it's the same with it. It's malignant false ego. So you see this in the story of Jesus Christ, yes, when the disciple betray Jesus, like Peter, yes, denying Jesus 3 times. No, I don't know Jesus. I don't know Jesus. This is a traitor. The coward. This is ego. Traitor. So it's important part of spirituality start when disciples start to be conscious of his traitorings, his or her, if it's woman. Yes, all the time criticizing guru or teachings. Someone in you criticize it. You know this crap? This is it. Because it's poison to him, poison. So be attentive to this when this happens. They can realize him without a guru because they are spiritually very advanced from their very birth. This is for special cases. Since this very rare kind of disciple, a kind of spiritual aspirant, is not the rule but the exception, he will be excluded from my explanation because it's not the rule. There are 2 kinds of spiritual teachers, false and true. False teachers are the majority. This word is like this, yes? Spam is more than good email. Yes? Yes or not? How much spam in the internet, Tamas? Percentage? 85, they say. Percent is spam. 85. 65, 85, whatever. How much porn is in internet? Stupid things. 30%. Yes? Others say 50%. All that is stupid, wrong, malignant, all this is massive. This word is like this. Spam, yes. Winner. All the crap. Winner. All the crap is winner all the time. It's a word like this. Bad word to live in. And so imagine 85% of the emails are false. Spam. So all the servers working for nothing, for crap. Resources are spent, yes, for crap. You know, this word we have. It's always the same story in this wretched world. What is bad is majority. There are many subtypes of false gurus. By false, I mean a teacher who makes the disciples waste their time. You waste your time with the guru, yes, it's false. By true, I mean a teacher that makes the disciples advance towards self-realization. Little or more, but it's useful. This is a true guru. Among the false teachers, there is the most foolish category first. There are many categories I was analyzing for a long time on the web, people speaking there on the web. Most of the gurus on the web are false. Most of them. I cannot tell you names because I'm in public, yes, but yes, it's most of them. Sometimes they are trying to be good, but they are false because they're ignorant. So they think that they are doing something good, but they're ignorant. They are damaging the mind of people. And first category of false gurus. Gurus teaching that no guru is needed. There are gurus like it. They tell you that you don't need a guru. So for what you need him? Telling you this. You don't need any guru. You don't even need the one telling you that you don't need any guru. It's a bit stupid. Well, they are exist like this. This kind of teacher believes in individuality as the dominant force in attaining self-realization. This is contradictory in itself because if any spiritual aspirant as such, as a limited individual, is able to achieve a spiritual enlightenment on his own, why is the guru teaching him that? Why you need a guru teaching you that if you are already able to do it? The spiritual aspirant already knows it and he can find a way towards self-realization on his own in that case. Therefore, no instruction is needed. I hope this is clear. Suppose you find a guru who says that you are completely able to attain self-realization on your own without his help. So why does he even need to tell you that? He should assume that you knew that already. In this sense, this type of spiritual teacher is super foolish because by stating that you do not need a guru, they tacitly imply that they themselves as well as their teachings are useless too. This being the case, was a point for you to listen to them. There is no end to human stupidity, moronism is, no end. I'm not saying that they are always evil or malicious. They may be good people, but with their discourse about the sacred relationship between guru and disciple, they just add more confusion to the mind of an already confused spiritual aspirant. These kind of teachers are useless. Another kind of guru I notice. Gurus teaching that the only thing you need to do is let it be. Let it be, so you will attain liberation, let it be. Yes, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, like the Beatles. Okay, this is another foolish type of false guru. They are not necessarily evil either, just absurd. They teach that all spiritual aspirants should flow with the force of nature, life, God, etc. In short, just let it be. Kind of hippie, yes, sir. Be yourself as you essentially are, etc. Yes, but you don't know who you are essentially, yes, how? While these teachings can be given to awesome disciples who are about to attain liberation, they cannot be given to the rest of spiritual aspirants for the simple reason that they cannot just flow or just let it be, etc. That is why he's a spiritual aspirant and not a liberated person. Therefore, this kind of teacher look cool and impressive, but in the end, they are useless because spiritual aspirants waste their time again with someone whose common sense is lost. No common sense. It's common that spiritual aspirants tell their entire life story to their gurus. It's common this, that the gurus, like a psychologist, it's common that they tell all life story to gurus. For example, a spiritual aspirant can say this to his teacher: my wife cheated on me and I feel so upset and I'm frustrated. So the guru will tell him, let it be yourself. One of the worst consequences of this sort of teachings is that the guy may let the worst portion of his ego flow and kill his wife. You cannot tell anyone, let it be, flow, be yourself. Instead of giving adequate teachings according to the level of the aspirant, this kind of teacher gives the most advanced teachings to all sadhakas, to all aspirants. No common sense here. A spiritual aspirant living in this karmic place known as the world runs into problems which he cannot solve by merely letting them be. Of course, that in the end is just about spiritual ignorance and his mind, but that spiritual aspirant has no real power to deal with that obstacle at the stage of spiritual evolution he is. So, you have a mental cancer, let it flow. You understand? You have schizophrenia, let it be. Schizophrenia is a mental cancer. You know this is? It's like a mental cancer for the mind. This is absolutely stupid. So the teacher should provide the disciple with the right knowledge and some type of practice which is fit for him at that time. Telling him to let it flow, just be, is not adequate teaching except for the case of highly evolved spiritual aspirants who obviously have no use for this type of teacher because they already know that. So advanced disciple, they don't need to tell him flow with Shakti because he already knows this. Next, we have the category of false gurus teaching some crazy thing. I saw these gurus in person. Crazy thing. Some invention. Not all the spiritual aspirants are intelligent enough. Some of them will be erroneously guided by this type of teachers. This category of false gurus includes all those mad guys tacitly or openly saying that the self will arrive at earth someday. God will come here someday. The Messiah is coming. You know the story, but the Messiah is coming. So who is now? Nobody knows. Who is now? Nobody knows. The Messiah is coming in the future to save us. But now, who will save us? The Messiah coming later. Or coming in a flying saucer. You know this? Flying saucer, yes? Flying saucer. UFO. In a UFO, an extraterrestrial ship, will come the Messiah to save humankind. Or that the self is far away in some spaceship. I saw this. That the self is in a spaceship. Or that God is a cyborg living in a deep cave in Mars. Crazy things like this. And similar crazy things. This sort of gurus, I saw this in person, a woman, I remember, proliferates in the world nowadays, unfortunately. As a result, I have personally seen many spiritual aspirants being taken from one insane idea to the next. Those teachers just give free rein to their imagination until they and their disciples become mental cases. They have no scripture to prove their point. Of course, they only have revelations. They are not necessarily evil, just insane people. Coming. Sometimes one of these teachers is mad enough as to make their disciple commit suicide in the name of God. You know this, yes? Or out of fear of an imminent apocalypse, etc. When this happens, you can be sure that the guru is quite a psycho. This is false gurus. They are dangerous. These gurus are dangerous. They are not recommended at all, not only because the sadhakas might end up in a madhouse or even dead, but especially because they will waste their time again with such useless gurus. Next, we have the false gurus who look to make money, fame, and such. You know these gurus, yes? They want to be worshipped by disciples. They want to make money. A spiritual teacher who have disciples only for making money. Gaining fame and similar trifles are nothing but beggars. They can be harmful too. A spiritual aspirant can learn some real things from them, but since money, fame, etc. are always in the middle, this type of gurus is absolutely useless in the end. They are being greedy for money can reach the point where only the millionaires can be spiritual aspirants who are fit for self-realization. Only millionaires are liberated. And all in all, do not waste your time with them. They normally teach in big organizations, around, yes, which are all about money. While I can understand that the guru could charge their disciples a little because he needs to keep living in this world, he needs to eat, for example. If he charges them too much or leaves out the ones who do not have enough money, he's not a real spiritual teacher. So I'm not saying that all gurus should follow the for free way, but the price of their teaching should be reasonable. These teachers usually give expensive courses, remarking how good their courses are. It's typical this. You can recognize them immediately, because according to them, after every course, you should have the state of the greatest Vedic sage. Practically, after every course. It's so great the course that after the course, you are practically Vasishta, coming from there. This is to cheat people. As a matter of fact, it's not possible. You will not gain liberation in a trice, generally. It will usually cost you an arm and a leg, figuratively speaking, as far as the magnitude of effort is concerned. If liberation was so easy as this teacher announced, why is this world not full of liberated people? Another delusion then, and more time being wasted in the process. Next, you have gurus, false gurus who look to explain the self through materialistic processes. A special kind of false gurus. All through materialistic processes. This is not a modern invention, but these gurus proliferate now. They try to establish that you can attain Shiva by altering your brain processes, for example. I'm not joking. There are gurus like DNA and the like. For example, through genetics, you can create a liberated person. Yes? They speak things like this. I saw these guys. They always attempt to make you reach the divine self through medical, scientific, etc. explanations. In Argentina, I saw a guy following this, a guru like this. All about the frequency in your brain. You change the frequency, you change your state, you attain Shiva like this. It's crazy. And like you can attain Shiva by your brain. Yes, actually, it's crazy. This type of teachers might even be so obsessed with brain processes as to scan your brain while you are meditating and arrive at some stupid conclusion about how to attain liberation. Their main characteristic is that they constantly attempt to reduce all that is spiritual to the material sphere somehow. They are a pest indeed. They are just terrible. There might be even more categories, of course, but with the ones I quoted, you have more than enough for now. All those false gurus may be well-intentioned or malicious. Anyway, they share a common characteristic. They make spiritual aspirants waste their precious time uselessly. Next, you have the true gurus. Great gurus, first category, liberated from both Paurusha Jnana, ignorance about the self, and Bauddha Jnana, intellectual ignorance. These are the greatest gurus, true gurus. Second, true gurus, scholars, liberated from Bauddha Jnana only. They know scriptures in depth. You can learn from them. You don't waste your time. Third kind of gurus, lower gurus, liberated from Paurusha Jnana only. They are not a scholar. They only are liberated but without scholarship. You must always go for the great gurus first. But if you cannot find one, you must go for a scholar. With the help of a scholar, you will have your intellectual ignorance removed. And this is 50% of your spiritual mission. Anyway, you cannot even find a scholar, you should go for a lower guru, though this is not especially recommended. But yes, something is better than nothing, as the saying goes. The common characteristic of the true gurus is that all of them consider the self to be divine, not materialistic, and residing right here and right now, not coming like a messiah in the future. So you can begin your spiritual path solidly with them, because you know through their teachings that the self is here, inside you, as it were, and that he is possible to be realized by you. Spiritual enlightenment, also known as liberation, is real and possible then. Okay, page 88 in the book Spirituality Volume 1. For today is enough for this satsanga. In the next satsanga, we'll continue with this topic about true gurus. Om Namah Shivaya.